The archetype for Pendulums is here. Smash the living crap out of that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out on more awesome content. The Valiants are here. So this is Shimone Priestess of the Valiants. Oh, it's actually amazing for these. They did a good job. So Pendulum Scale 1. Pendulum Effect. You can only use Pendulum Effect in this card's name once per turn. During your main phase, you can special summon this card to your main monster zone in this card's column, and you cannot special summon for the rest of this turn except for Valiants monsters and monsters from the extra deck. Okay, it is a scale 1, by the way. That's not bad. So, monster effect. If you control this special summon card, you can add a Valiant spell card from your deck to your hand. If this card is moved from a monster zone to another, you can add one Valiant monster from your deck to your hand, except for Shimone Priestess of the Valiants. You have a spell searcher straight off the bat here with this. Interesting that they didn't build in a trap search for this, because most of these effects typically will have a spell and trap search. We just went spell. Okay, and then it looks like the gimmick for this archetype will be the fact that they can special summon themselves from the Pendulum Zone. Okay, next up down here is the Scion Archer of the Valiants. I just noticed this is water and this is water. Huh. Both water. Spellcaster, by the way. This is also a spellcaster? Cool, they're both spellcasters. So during your main phase, you can special summon this card to your monster zone to this card's column. And special summon for this turn except for Valiants and monsters from the extra deck. Okay, so we've confirmed that that's what we're doing here. So you can only use the first and second effects of this card's name once per turn. So if you control this special summoned card, you can target one effect monster on the field. Toss a coin. If its head, negate that monster's effect. If tails, its current attack becomes halved. That is interesting. Okay. If this card is moved to a monster zone to another, you can target one card on the field. Toss a coin. If its heads, destroy that card. If its tails, return it to the hand. I mean, I don't see the downside to either of those effects, but you know what? Okay. Interesting stuff so far. Level 6 here. This is not a pendulum this time. Okay. I don't know this is. I don't see our pendulum scale. That's why I was curious. I guess we don't get the pendulum scale for this guy. So, no, yeah. You only use Pendulum Effect of this card's name once per turn. So if Valiant's World Churro is in your field zone, or if you control a water Valiant's monster, you can special summon this card to your main monster zone in this card's column. Okay. You only use first, second effects of this card's name once per turn. So we can target one other monster in the main monster zone, move it to an adjacent column. Okay. If this card is moved to a monster zone to another, you can target one Valiant's monster card in your spell and trap card zone and special summon it to your main monster zone in its column. Okay, so there's a lot to unpack with this one, but this is one of our column movers, which will actually give us more triggering. This is actually not bad. And then we got Hojo Warrior of the Valiants, level 8's Water Spellcaster. This doesn't look very water to me, because we got freaking fire here. But you know what? Okay, Pendulum Scale 1. So if Valiant's World Shirambacho is in your field zone, or if you control a water Valiant's monster, special summon, same thing here, special summon. You only use the first, second effect of this card's name once per turn. So we can target one face-up card in your spell and trap card zone and return it to your hand. If this card is moved in the monster zone to another, you can fusion summon one Valiant fusion monster from your extra deck using monsters from your hand or field as material, as well as cards in your Pendulum Zone. I am glad that they are taking advantage of those extra conditional cards you've got sitting in your Pendulum Zones so that you can actually do something with it. So that's not bad. Okay, so that's our guy that lets us fusion. What the heck are these? These are Gundams. Valiant's Buster Baron. Fire Pendulum Monster Effect. Another Pendulum 1 scale. During the main phase, you can special summon this card to the adjacent column. Sure. Easy stuff here. You can only use the first, second effects of this card's name once per turn. So if you control this special summon card, you target one Valiant's monster in your main monster zone, move that card to another adjacent column. Okay, so another movement. If this card is moved from a monster zone to another, you target one card in your Pendulum Zone, place it face up in an adjacent spell and trap card zone as a continuous spell and trap card. Huh. Cool, so we're getting Crystal Beast mechanics in here, too. Okay. And then we got Viscount. So same thing here, special summon, if the requirements are met. If you control the special summon card, you place one face-up Valiant's Pendulum monster from your extra deck into your spell and trap card zone as a face-up continuous spell card. If this card is moved to a monster zone to another, you can place one face-up Valiant's Pendulum monster from your extra deck into your Pendulum Zone. Okay. There's a lot to go here. Okay, Marquees. So, if Quintin Weissen is in your field zone, if you control a fire, you can special summon this card. Okay. During your main phase, you can roll a 6-sided dice and excavate cards from the top of your deck equal to the result. And if you do, you can add 1 excavated Valiants card from your deck to your hand and shuffle the remaining back into the deck. Okay, so does this surprise anybody here? This is pretty good. Does this remind anybody of the For Hire monsters? Yeah, a little bit. If this card is moved to a monster zone, you can roll a 6-sided dice once. If the result's 2, 3, 4, or 5, special summon 1 monster from your spell and trap card zone to your main monster zone in its column. That's pretty freaking good. Okay. Lady Luck out here can fail you, though. Alright, next up is Duke. So, if Quintin Weissen is up or you control the fire, you can special summon this. So, you can target 1 set card in your spell and trap card zone. It can... target 1 set trap card in any zone. Cannot activate this turn. If it's moved to a main monster zone, you target 1 face-up monster in your opponent's monster zone. Take control of it, and if you treat it as a Valiants monster, cannot attack or declare an attack or activate its effects. Huh. Man, this archetype is very, very interesting. This is the big one. This is Mamonaka. Fusion Pendulum Monster. 2800, 2800, Pendulum Scale 10. So you can only use the Pendulum effect of this card's name once per turn. So during the main phase, you can activate one of these effects. Special summon this card in your main monster zone to its column, or move 1 monster in your main monster zone to an adjacent column. Okay. So you can only use the first effect of this card's name once per turn. It's just any 3 Valiants monsters to make this. So during the main phase, quick effect, you can target 1 effect monster in your opponent's main monster zone. Place that monster in your opponent's spell and trap card zone in that monster's column as a face-up continuous spell card. Alright, if a card is already in that zone, destroy it, and if you destroy a monster card this way, your opponent loses life points equal to its attack. Okay, if this special summon card you control is destroyed by your opponent's card effect, it goes into your Pendulum zone. Hey, that's pretty cool. There's so much going on here with this archetype. You got dice rolling, coin flipping out here. It's overall just a experience, I think. And then, we got another fusion. Valiant Genesis Grand Duke. Another Pendulum Scale 10. So, Pendulum effect, once per turn during your main phase, you can activate one of these effects. Special summon this card to your main monster zone in its column, or move 1 monster in your main monster zone to an adjacent monster zone. And this is 2 Valiants monsters to make. So, must either be fusion summon or special summon from the extra deck by attributing 1 level 5 or higher non-fusion Valiants monster in the same column as an extra monster zone. Okay. If this card is special summon, target 1 monster card, your opponent's spell trap card zone, return the hand and do inflict damage to your opponent equal to its attack, and then gain attack equal to half the damage they took. It's on a 2500, by the way. Okay. Churro Bronze Show. So when this card resolves, place 1 Valiant's field spell in your from your deck face up in your opponent's field zone, except for Shimone Priestess. If there are 2 cards in the field zone, the turn player can target 1 monster card in their spell and trap card zone, special summon it to the main monster zone as the same column. Okay, and then we got Quintin Weissen. So when this card resolves, place 1 Valiant's field spell in your deck face up in your opponent's zone. If there are 2 faces of cards in the field zones, the turn player can target 1 effect monster in their opponent's monster zone in the same column as a monster the turn player controls. Place target a monster face up in the controller's spell and trap card zone in the same column as a continuous spell card. There's already a card in that zone. It is destroyed. So this is actually interesting. These 2 field spells kind of work in tandem with each other for trying to punish the opponent's fields. I definitely like what they're trying to do with this gimmick. It seems like there's some really cool ideas here. All of these effects feel very, very powerful at the end of the day here. I'm kind of excited to see how well this archetype will hold its own, especially as we go forward here, because, you know, Pendulum, granted, like, this whole archetype is basically Pendulum locked, but they did reprint Electromite down here, so it is pretty true here that they do want this to be able to work with Electromite to some sort of clause here. So, yeah, I'm definitely curious. I'm not super sure how I feel about the field spells interacting in the way they do. It just kind of feels like a little bit of a waste here, but you know what, Konami? I'll give you a chance to try this one, because for this being the first archetype, we got 12 cards today for this, so we'll have to wait and see how this does. So guys, what do you think about these new awesome cards? Please leave a comment down below. Make sure you smash the like, crap, that subscribe button, so you guys don't miss out on more awesome content. I'll see your beautiful faces back here later in the day, guys. Peace out. Patrons, thank you. ya!
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.